solid large pumpkin tutorial, guys. There are 3 tutorials I'm giving you guys, and this one's on the solid large pumpkin one. So get whatever color you want. I'm using it's called pumpkin color. And then the stems I got from Amazon. I'm obsessed with using these stems. It's all in the description box. And then you're going to need a glue gun and for the stem, and of course polyfill. So to start off, what we're going to do is get your yarn in this position right here. And the yarn that you see me touching, that is your working yarn. That's your working yarn. So you're going to flip it over, pull the loop right over the working yarn, and then pull on the working yarn right through as you're pulling on the tail to tighten it. And you're going to want a long tail. I would say like maybe 12 inches or so. Now we're going to be knitting tight. So like to the bone length of your index finger. I would say that's pretty good. You want to knit tight because it eliminates the gaps. So now we're making our second stitch. Pull the working yarn right through, guys, working from left to right. Our third stitch. And this is called casting on. So to count, right on the tops of your stitches, the rigid bumps. That's how I count it. So that's 3. And we're going to do a total of 16. I wanted to do a tutorial on a large one, but I made various sizes, but I wanted to go ahead and demonstrate the large one because it's like the more fun one. So we're doing a total of 16. We're casting on 16. And count. Knitting tightly, guys. Now I'm gonna double check and count back down right on the tops like I told you guys. I want to make sure I have a total of 16. So just like so. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting it in the rounded shape so we can start knitting in the round. So not your last stitch that you just did, but the second to last. Wherever you see me poking, that's where you're going to insert the tail. So the second to last stitch, you're going to insert the tail and pull it through. And your chain will flip on you or want to twist on you. Just untwist it where it's nice, evenly flat going around. So like you see me just did right there, I just untwisted it right now. You want it nice and flat. It's really important. See, nice and evenly flat because it will mess you up, which I have done before. And then get your tail and put it in the middle so it's out of your way. So this is how we start off all rounded plushies, rounded crafts with finger knitting, hand crocheting. It goes by all 3 terms. It's mostly commonly known as hand knitting though. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be knitting through the tops of all our stitches. So that's 1. The loop sticking out is 1. So then stitch right over. Wherever you see me putting my finger right underneath, you're going to pull the working yarn through. That's 2. So we want a total of 16. That's 1, 2, here's 3. Pulling the working yarn right through, knitting tightly, guys, where your loops, you're making them small. All the way around, guys. A total of 16. Then your last one is going to be really close to the first loop. So I'm going to show you guys. It's going to be right there, real close to the first one. You're going to go and pull your working yarn right through. And I know that I'm done too, not just because I'm right up to the first stitch, but because of the tail. The tail is going to be your golden marker. The tail is connected to the first loop. So that will always tell you to stop. That's the first loop. This is the start of the next row. So I'm still going to count though. Always just count and double check. So next we are simply going to knit all of our loops, going back all around again. We're building up the bottom of the pumpkin. So I'm simply going to knit tight for the second row through all of them again. And I'm going to know when I get to the tail connected to that first stitch, you know, to stop, second row done. So here's my tail, guys, letting me know first stitch, stop, second row, done. So now with the third row, we're gonna fold it. We're gonna fold our circle in half like a taco. And it's always at least the third row or the fourth row. You want to fold it in half now, and then go ahead and keep knitting along for your third row, and you know when you get to the tail again, that's the start of the next row. And to still count though, you know, to still count, you know, just all this double accuracy. Anyways, we fold it because it helps knit to keep the stitches knitted closer together. So it helps eliminate the gaps. And this is entirely true, guys, because I wanted to test it out. Like, does it really make a difference? I kept knitting in like a flat circle. By the time it was time to enclose it, it was a big mess. It was a mistake. Never again. Because I was like, I just messed this up. So fold it in half like a taco by the 3rd or 4th row. And this is basically the whole pattern, guys. Making a pumpkin, I would say, is one of the best beginner projects for hand knitting. I wish I had known this when I had started. I took on a more heavier, detailed one. It was very stressful. Just trying to complete it. It took me a long time. But a pumpkin, perfect beginner project. And so you're just going to keep knitting using your tail, guys. So I'm just going to keep knitting with you guys for a few rows, and we want a total of, let's see, 12 rows. So the pattern that I created is cast on 16 and knit 12 rows. And I'm simply just teaching you the technique of making a pumpkin. Once you learn the technique on how to make a pumpkin with hand knitting, finger knitting, you can go however numbers you want. You can do cast on 20 and knit 21 rows. I mean, it's entirely, there is no right or wrong. I'm just teaching you the technique. But our pumpkin should be about large. It all depends on the chenille yarn too. Some chenille jumbo size 7 yarn, some are more thicker. So, you know, this should make about a large pumpkin to medium / large. But this is it, guys. You're going to knit 12 rows. A total of 12 rows. Use your tail as a marker. And then I'll keep knitting with you guys for a few rows, and then I'll continue instructing when it's time to stuff and enclose. And to go ahead and start plugging in your glue gun to have it ready when we're done enclosing to be attaching the stem. Okay guys, so a total of 12 rows. I will meet you guys back when we have a total of 12 rows. Okay, so this is what it should look like. And let's say you miscount it and you know you're finished like, wait, do I have 12? So So what you're gonna do is you're gonna count down by poking your finger right in the middle, just gently gliding it down. This is a tricky way to count, but it does work. You want to count a total of 12 right up to the bottom of the chain. So that's the chain where I'm touching right there. So you can count like that just in case you ever you think, okay, is this 12? So now you're gonna cut, like I would say, a ruler, like 12 inches, a nice long tail. Better to be safe than sorry. And please have watched the video on joining chunky chenille yarn. If you run out or it snips on you, I show you of what to do. So now we're gonna work on the enclosing part. Golden rule with hand knitting. You work from inside out with the tail. So see the tail is connected to that part right there? The stitch right over, guys. You're going to take your tail from inside out, pull it through. Tugging very gently right now. I would at least get to like the 5th, even 6th stitch, then tug a little bit more to enclose it. So you're working all the way around, right underneath that, right in the chain. From inside out, pulling that tail like so. So now I feel, now it's okay to go ahead and tug, not too hard because your tail will snap on you. And if that does happen, just undo your work and join the tail with, more of the yarn by just simply tying a knot. Please watch that video. It's a real short video I do of 3 different methods on how to, if that was to happen. But simply just tie a knot with more yarn. And just be enclosing, tugging as you're working along now. Flattening up that bottom with your hands. So at one point as you're working along the chain, one of the stitches, you're going to feel like there's a lump. And there is a lump because of when we had connected the foundation chain. Simply skip over that lump one and just go to the next stitch over. It's perfectly fine. And you don't have to go through all 16 stitches. If it's already pretty much enclosed on you, then you're done. So, you don't got to go through all 16 stitches. So see, I'm already pretty much almost done. Just keep tugging on it firmly, but not too aggressively where you snap it. So see right here's my lump. I feel it. I'm going to simply skip over it and go to the next stitch. And then tug it. So you see that little lump right there? It's perfectly fine. Just push it in. And just keep working, tugging. Now to help seal it up, because all the stitches are tightened around it, I'm gonna find a stitch just straight across. I'm just trying to get this bottom to enclose here. So I found a stitch. So you're gonna find a stitch that's like straight across the opening still, and just tug. And it pretty much secures it up right there. So, if you still have a little bit of a gap like me, just keep finding a stitch that you can slip your tail through to enclose it completely. So just look for a stitch that's right across the gap just to seal it off completely. Then I'm just working the chain, you know, pulling it nice and tight inside. And then you're gonna go ahead and make a knot. So that's like a golden rule again with hand knitting. With any tails, make a knot. Then I'm gonna use my hands, guys, and just help flatten up the bottom to give a nice rounded shape here. So that's the bottom of our pumpkin. So on a nice, you know, I'm patting it from the inside and also the outside. You just want a nice rounded bottom. So now this is what I'm going to be stuffing it. There's no right or wrong with this. I love a lot of stuffing, so I'm going to stuff mine, guys, like crazy. But go ahead and stuff it. Not all the way where your stuffing is falling out, because we just want enough to hold the shape up as we start enclosing the top. And so just, you know, work it, mold it to your satisfaction here. Now to do the enclosing, like I said, golden rule, taking your tail and working from inside out. This is way easier, guys. See all the loops hanging out? We're going to be taking our tail and weaving it through all the loops. So the first stitch connected to the tail, do not tug, just gently work it through. Because if you tug right now, your first stitch will disappear. So you're going to want to use some kind of marker, a piece of yarn. I'm going to use a glue stick, guys, to just hold that stitch open to keep it from sinking in and disappearing on me. So you see, now I'm going to tug by like the 5th stitch, guys, and then as you're enclosing, go ahead and continue shaping your pumpkin, adding more stuffing, molding it to the nice shape that you want. So that's what I'm going to be doing. We're pretty much done with our pumpkin after you enclose it, because then it's just adding the stem and your pumpkin is done, guys. I told you, it's such a wonderful, easy project to do with kids. It's also great, you know, great festive Halloween tradition to do with finger knitting, you know, making pumpkins. So just add your stuffing and just keep working it, weaving it, and tugging, and don't enclose it completely. Leave a little opening, because we're going to be inserting our stem. And so we want a little opening to be inserting our stem, and using the glue gun now to stick that stem solid stuck. So here's my pumpkin, guys. I'm just fixing it to my perfection here. Molding it in my hands. I absolutely love it. It looks such like a legit pumpkin, especially when we put the stem in. And again, I got these from Amazon, but you can use whatever stem that you want. I like these. So real easy, guys, to do this. So just now we're going to be using our glue gun here. And simply we're going to be taking our stem, inserting it in a small gap, and tugging on the working yarn just a little bit around it to help establish that shape, what it's going to look like with the stem. And then now we're going to get our glue gun, and simply like so, I'm going to do it like on 3 sides, poking it, putting hot glue inside the gap right around the stem. And then now I'm going to tug. Careful you don't burn yourself. And see, tug real tight. And it's okay if you snap your yarn. That's great. You don't have to do scissors now. But if it doesn't snap as you're tugging really hard, then go ahead and cut a little short tail. But it's perfectly fine if you snap your yarn right here. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to pull it really tight and snap the yarn at the same time. And just add as much hot glue as you feel it needs to just get it really stuck and secured, where like you can hold your pumpkin up by the stem. So mine didn't snap, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and take some scissors. You want to cut a small tail. And then you're going to find a little opening anywhere close to the stem. Use the scissors to help widen the gap for yourself. And then put some hot glue in the little opening that you just did. And use the scissors to insert that short tail. Adjusting, shifting the stuffing around it where you just inserted the tail. And this is gonna, help keep that tail real secured in, because you just applied hot glue. It's not going nowhere. And this is it, guys. You're done. Totally looks like legit pumpkin, guys. I absolutely love my orange ones. I do provide so multiple tutorials in this listing, but just a simple orange one, it is so perfect. Aside from all the other different designs, just a solid orange one is so gorgeous and legit. I will be providing a finishing video of all the pumpkins set up, so you can get a more feel and excitement of what you just made. So look how gorgeous this is, guys. Absolutely love it. I do provide tutorials on the other designs. I teach the technique, and then you guys can create your own designs, all sorts, using glitter glue, spider embellishments. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Please watch the other ones as I teach on the intarsia joining colors right here, plaid, and then chunked. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I do have tutorials for the witch hat, a cauldron, a trick-or-treat bag, Nightmare for Christmas themed, and did I say witch hat? And a ghost. I'm in love with my ghost, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks.